Hello, I'm Mark the Cook, and I am back again with another dish. This time, we are making coconut bread. And I'll show you what I'm using for the ingredients here. Let's go in the pantry here. I am using buckwheat. That's 1 cup of buckwheat, gluten-free. Simply the best. I was at once upon a time using, let's see, what do we have here? Oh, and then I'm using 1 cup of coconut flour, gluten-free as well. So it's 1 cup buckwheat, 1 cup gluten-free flour. That's what I'm using, half and half. And I was at one time using the coconut flour. I don't know if you can see it there, the coconut flour from Walmart, but it's not as good as the other brand. So, with that being said, we are going to use also. Gosh, this camera keeps unfocusing. All right, we are going to use organic coconut milk, unsweetened. And this, by the way, is the best brand out there. We have tried all types of brands, and this is the best one out there for coconut milk. It's so delicious. So, I'm going to use that, and that is going to go to 3/4 of a cup. Sometimes I go a little bit over 3/4, but it doesn't matter. It turns out okay anyway. Then I'm using the world's best, see if I can focus on this, the world's best coconut oil. Oh, come on, focus camera. There we go. This is the world's best coconut oil. You open the lid to this jar and oh my gosh, it just reeks of coconut smell. Smells so good. So we are going to use 3, and normally it's 2 heaping tablespoons of this stuff, but I like to add a little extra, like 3, because it just makes the bread turn out really, really moist, really better. So, and tastes better. So, with that being said, I'm going to set the camera down so that I can get all these ingredients together. I've already got 1/2 cup of coconut flour and 1/2 cup of buckwheat. I almost forgot. I have brain fog from the candida. That is one of the symptoms there. But this is also 1 tablespoon of this baking powder as well. So I've got the baking powder, coconut flour, and I've got the buckwheat in there already. So let's get to work on this. I'm going to set the camera down because I don't have anyone to film for me. So I'm going to set the camera down. Let's get a little dish here. And I don't know if you can see this, but this little dish here. See if I can set the camera up here. This little dish here is what I use to melt the coconut oil. So I put it like that much. 1, 2, maybe 3 of those. 3 of them. There you go, 1, 2, 3. And I put that in there. I stick it in the microwave for about, maybe a few seconds just to melt it. maybe 30 seconds. If it doesn't melt in your microwave for 30 seconds, then you may want to try 45 seconds. And then that'll do it for sure. So, now we can add the coconut milk in here. And we are going to do it at 3/4. I usually go a little bit more, like 7/8. Anyway, turns out really good. But anyway, you can see there, it's a little over 3/4 of a cup. I don't know if the camera focused right or not on this, but just a tad over that. Now, I did have some wonderful baking pans at some point, but they got damaged with the mold in our other home, and we had to trash everything away. So I bought these generic pans, and I don't like Pioneer woman pans from Walmart because they're already starting to rust. So I recommend you buy something better than this. You get what you pay for, you know. When I purchased those, I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I got what I paid for. So anyway, okay, so whatever's left over on the spoon here, I get a napkin, and because they're generic pans, I have to butter them or grease the bottom of them with coconut oil. Otherwise, the bread will stick, and you'll never get it out. Never. It just will never come out. So, let's get our coconut out. Oh, needs to melt a little more. So, okay. It's not quite melted yet. A total of 45 seconds to get it melted really nicely. And then grease those pans. You gotta excuse my kitchen. I'm just one person, and I'm trying to work, cook, clean, wash clothes, wash dishes, mop, sweep, run errands. I mean, I'm trying to do everything, like multitasking everything. Because my wife Chloe can't drive, and there's just minimal things that she can do. It's not a whole lot she can do. But there's one thing that she does do that I really love. She supports me emotionally and everything else. I mean, she just supports me. She's always there for me, so I love her for that. So we're going to mix this up. I don't know if you saw that, but I poured the oil in here into the flour, and I'm mixing the oil in there. You can use a fork. It's probably better to use a fork, but I like using a spoon. And putting all this in here. Okay. So once we have all that mixed up right there, our coconut oil mixed in there. So next, we want to take out and you're probably going to flip on this one. We're going to add, believe it or not, we're going to add 10 eggs into that. So let's get started. 1. I hope you can see this from where the camera is. 2. By the way, these are organic eggs. 3. And they're brown. 4. Oops. Uh-oh. Don't want to put any shells in there because, oh my gosh. Don't worry, my hands are clean and sanitized. I hope I didn't drop a shell in there. I may have, I don't know. I know we've had that issue in the past where I was chewing on a shell. Okay. So you gotta, these eggs are just, it's one thing about ground organic eggs is that they're very, very thin. Okay. While the bread's cooking, I usually wash dishes. I normally wash dishes while the bread's cooking, so that's what I'll be doing while the bread is cooking in the oven. And then, let's see, here we go. And we have 2 eggs left for breakfast. Just gonna get the light turned on here. Now, going to get our little trusty portable mixer and add our coconut milk and our blend. That, my friend, is all we need to do. You don't want to overmix it, because if you overmix it, oh man, it turns like cement. And then your bread comes out really, really bad. So you just want to get everything mixed together. Normally the best way to do that is probably with just by hand, but I've got joint pain right now from the candida, overgrowth, muscle aches, you name it. I mean, I've got every symptom that, well, not every symptom that candida can produce, but I've got several symptoms that candida can produce. And then Chloe has other symptoms that I don't have. So it's just some nasty stuff. If you're living in a home that's wet, leaky roof, or anything like that, or you smell like mildew clothing in your house, please run from that. Otherwise, if you don't, you will be sick. But this is what it looks like kind of like a cake mix, sort of, a little thicker though, a tad thicker than a cake mix. And we're gonna put half into one pan and the other half in another pan, so that we make 2 loaves. 2 loaves of bread. I was making 1 loaf when I first started doing this, but we like the bread so much that this 1 loaf wasn't cutting it. No, it just wasn't. This is really good, high protein bread. And this is the only bread actually that we've been eating for the past, I think we've been eating this bread here for like, let's see, we started making it in January. We're now April. say about 4 months. Been eating this bread for like 4 months now. And what you want to do is kind of level it out a little bit. Get it as level as possible. So that it, and pack it in a little bit there so that there's no air bubbles in it. And I'll show you here with the camera in a minute what it's supposed to look like. Kind of pack it in there. Okay. All right. Sweet. You know how you used to lick your fingers every time mom made a cake and you lick your finger and lick the, that's like the nastiest thing you can do actually. It wasn't back then when you were a kid, but they say now that it develops bacteria in your stomach when you do that all the time. Now I know why I was sick all the time when I was a kid. After we made cake and cookies and then I stick some of the raw batter in my stomach. It was not a good thing. So, all right. So let me bring you guys over here. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the toaster oven here. So we're gonna put bake 350. That's what I bake at. Usually put it 30 minutes. And 30 minutes will be perfect, but you may want to take it out sooner. It depends on your oven, but and then I put the temperature 350 and then I just turn it on. And then we're going to put the bread in the oven now. And bread in the oven. And I will bring you guys back to show you the finished product in 30 minutes. Bye for now.